Hello kids, I am Priyanka and I'm back again with my new chapter, The Great Escape from the book Blossom. Sugata Bose is a historian, author, and Gardiner Professor of Oceanic History and Affairs of Howard University. Born to the eminent freedom fighter Dr. Cicely Kumar Bose and Mrs. Krishna Bose, he was the grandnephew of Subhash Chandra Bose and grandson of Sarad Chandra Bose. In 2011, Bose published his Majesty Opponent, the Great Present Text, in an excerpt from his book. Let's read. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, born on 23rd January 1997, was one of the most famous Indian nationalist leaders who fought for Indian independence from British rule. To this purpose, he founded the Indian National Army, which included a women regiment too. In 1941, the British government put Subhash Chandra under house arrest, that is, confined him in his own house. The following narrative describes the exciting and courageous escape of Subhash Bose from the clutches of the British to continue his struggle for Indian freedom. Looking pale and thin, with a bushy half green beard, Subhash was reclining on his pillow when Cicely, his nephew, entered Subhash's bedrooms that December afternoon. Subhash made him sit on his right on the bed. Looking intensely at Ceres, he said, "Come, can you do some work for me?" Cicely nodded. The task, as it turned out, was to help plan and carry out Subhash's escape from India. Cicely could have to be driving his uncle in the dead of the night to the railway station far away from Calcutta. From his uncle's residence at Eagle Road, Cicely walked back that night to his own house at Woodburn Power in the state of wonder and subsidiary excitement. The police were keeping watch on Subhash's house. Though it was normal for nephew to visit an ailing uncle, Subhash had additional excuses for meeting his nephew. Cicely was a good operating the radio. He helped Subhash listening to the foreign broadcast. Subhash and Cicely discussed various means of escape, finally decided to drive out in the most natural fashion. Though the main gates, Cicely owned a German car called the Wanderers, which he, Subhash, chose for his journey. Subhash called Khyber Akbar Shah to meet at Calcutta. Akbar Shah was a co-worker in freedom struggle against British Raj. He operated in northwestern frontier provinces. He was to help Subhash escape. Akbar Shah went to Calcutta. He was introduced to Cicely. Together, they went to a shop in central Calcutta where they purchased baggy salwar trousers and a black vest for Subhash's disguise. Later, Cicely also purchased a suitcase and a bedroll, shirts, and pillows. Subhash was to carry these with him in the journey. Cicely then went to the printer shop. He ordered a set of calling cards which read Muhammad Zainuddin, Travelling Inspector, the Emperor of India, Life Insurance Corporated. This was a false identity with which Subhash was to travel. In January 16, 1941, Cicely finished his dinner early and drove to Egland Road around 8:30 p.m. He packed the Wanderers at the back of his house. Cicely and Subhash had maintained total secrecy about the plan of escape. None of the family members knew anything except Subhash's niece Ella and male cousin Dwizin. Subhash and Cicely waited until the rest of the Bose family was fallen asleep. Subhash had changed his disguise as Muhammad Zainuddin. He was dressed in long brown coat, baggy shalwars, and black fez. He wore gold wire rimmed spectacles. It was 1:30 a.m. 1:30 a.m. The night was moonlight. Dwindling signaled from the upstairs down that no policemen were nearby. By day, the policemen sat at the charpai in the corner of Egland Road and Woodburn Road. They placed up in the down street before the Subhash home. On the cool winter night on January 16, they had preferred the comfort of warm blanket on charpai. Subhash and Shashir hugged the inner wall of the long house corridor and tiptoed down the black back stairs to the car. Subhash sat in the back. Shashir drove the car. He started the engine and drove about from 38 to by 2 Eglin Road, as he had done on many past occasions. At Shabazz Eglin Road residence, the light glowed in his bedroom to give the impression that he was still there. At Calcutta slept uncle and the nephew crossed Howard Bridge and went beyond the crystal processed. Shabazz poured Sisir coffee from the thermos. They shared a few anxious moments together. When the car engine flattered once, he started again and Sisir dashed at a high speed through the dark night. At around 8:30 a.m., they arrived at Barera near Dhanbad. They put up at the house Sisir brother Ashok. Shabazz kept his disguise on his Muhammad Zainuddin and said he had come on insurance business. He had given a room to rest during the day. They meet and talked in the evening and had an early dinner. Muhammad Zainuddin left home for Goma station, which was some distance away. He wanted to catch the Delhi Kalka mail from there. A little further from the house, Sisir picked up in his wardrobe and drove towards the railway station. They reached Gomo station in the moonlight. A slippery porter collected their luggage. I am off. You are back, Subhas said, and pattering boards. Sujir watched his mount the railway bridge and crossed across it with a usual majestic gait. He disappeared into darkness towards the platform on the opposite side. Delhi Kalka mail released steam. Sisir heard the rhythmic clutter of the wheel and saw the train light moving away. And that was all about this chapter. Thank you.